Hi friends, it's That Kid of Mine Thursday again. Hi, I'm Angie Hernandez, certified hypnotherapist at the Indiana Hypnosis Center. Where bad habits don't have to last forever, get rid of those bad habits with hypnosis, with me. Alright, today we're going to be talking about hypnotherapy for children with anxiety. I'm part of an international group on Facebook that was started up by therapists in Manchester when the bombing at the arena happened. And this is just to give people free support, mothers, fathers, children, and their families who were affected by the bombing. And a great many of us around the world have signed up to offer free therapy. Some are in hypnosis, some are in tapping. There are all kinds of different therapies there. And we're in this group to offer that free to anyone suffering. And we have quite a few parents posting there talking about their fears and anxieties, their children's fears and anxieties. And it made me think that it was a little time to talk about kids and anxiety. I do hypnotherapy for kids, and I'm seeing a lot of anxiety. Now, what I see is a lot different usually from what they're seeing in England. They had a traumatic event. Theirs is more PTSD than ongoing daily anxiety. But it prompted me to think of this. So what I'm seeing is kind of ongoing everyday anxiety. And I think that looking for these problems starts in the home. You're the parent, you know your child the best. So I kind of have some hints on being a detective about the anxiety and trying to figure out what to look for before you're asking for help. So this is kind of when you think there's a problem, but you're not really sure what to do about it. So I have some questions you want to ask yourself and your child about what's been going on and where you see anxiety or panic attacks or fear coming from. And they're going to be newspaper questions. Remember back when you learned journalism or you had to write a paper at school and the teacher said, let's use the who, what, when, where, how, and why. And that's what we're going to do. First, find out where does the anxiety start? Where does it become worse? Is it a certain location? Like, is it before school? Is it at or before sleep at night? Is it only happening at home? Is it in the car? Find out where that is, and that'll help narrow down the search for the cause. And next, ask who. Who's around when this is the worst? Who is it? Is it someone at school? Is there a bully situation going on? Is it a teacher? Not very often, but once in a while there's a rare teacher who's kind of a bully too. Most teachers are wonderful. The teachers I know are, and very underpaid, by the way. But occasionally there's a teacher bully. Is it just loneliness? Like, could they see kids around them at school with friends and they don't make friends easily? Is that part of it? That's going to be hard if they're not invited to things and they are feeling lonely. Is a parent part of the problem? Is a sibling part of the problem? This might be in secret. You may have to ferret it out and find out what it is. To you, it might not seem like a big problem, but it obviously is to your child if you're seeing anxiety, panic attacks, or fear. How about asking the question, what? What is the feeling or the thought that happens right before the anxiety hits? That's what I would be looking for as a therapist. What's the feeling that happens right before? The key is to interrupt the pattern of anxiety. What happens is they see a person they think is opposed to them and the fear begins. What happens right before that? So before they're walking down the hall, maybe they haven't seen the person yet, and then they see the person. That's when we want to freeze and interrupt that pattern, giving them suggestions about, well, instead of going straight to fear, how about going straight to another feeling, like understanding. Maybe that person just looks fearful, but they're afraid themselves. You have to kind of ferret out what's going on. A pattern interrupt is what we call that, where we stop the behavior, we freeze it at that moment, and we give alternative lines of thought and behavior to create new neural pathways in the brain. And lastly is how. How did this begin? Think back hard. how long has this been going on? You might know the very first time for the reaction, or you might not. But think about, if you can, get kind of a general idea when this started. What was going on in this child's life at that moment or within 2 years around this time? And it might not seem like the right answer to you. You might think this was all something that was done and taken care of. This might be a move. You had to move, and the child had to change schools or had to change homes. Maybe they were able to stay in the same school, but maybe their home situation completely changed. Was there a new baby in the house? Even if they love the sibling, it's a lot of pressure, anxiety when a big change comes into the family, like a move or a new child in the family. Was there a divorce? Was there a death in the family, a grandparent or someone they were close to? These might have started a couple years before this fear behavior or anxiety hit, but they have a bearing lots of times. It's the big picture that we need. These would be questions I would be asking if you brought your child to me for anxiety or fear. Yeah, even those years before can be very important. And why do you say, why does it, we thought we coped with that? Because it's like a cup of water. And the anxiety and the fear situations start to fill the cup with water. A move, a death in the family, and the cup's getting fuller and fuller and fuller. A new baby, the cup's getting fuller and fuller. And what happens is that cup gets completely filled with water, and one little tiny thing that wouldn't have bothered anyone before is the last straw, that last drop that causes the whole bucket to overflow, and suddenly we have a behavior or a fear or anxiety attack, and it seems to have come out of nowhere. Didn't really come out of nowhere. It was building up, building up, building up. So you have to be a little bit of a detective. At that point, you have a decision to make. What you may think is, you may think you need to go get some medical intervention. That's probably a very good step, and go to your family doctor or pediatrician first. But if that's not the direction you want to go, or you've done that and the results weren't satisfactory, you can find some therapy for the child. Hypnotherapy is very good. When a child comes in, I usually talk to the parent first. I get their written permission, and we usually send the parent off. Now, that's kind of dependent on what the child wants. If the child really wants the parent to stay, I will allow that. Or maybe just stay. If that happens, I either let them stay and I use them as a prop. I play with them, or I send them off to a part of the room where the child can't see them, so it can kind of interact with me in an honest way. But the parent's there, being aware. They know their parent is close by. So usually what we do is we talk a little bit while I have them do kind of a craft or something to keep their fingers busy, because they're used to being on devices and they're really not used to looking at, especially a stranger, eye to eye. So I have them do some beading or something else. It depends, boy or girl. While I talk to them a little bit, I ask them, well, I know why your parent brought you here today, but what do you want to work on? And they might have a little different idea than what their parent said. It all kinds of help. Even if we kind of change our focus a little bit, all of that helps to the main issue. And then at the end, we'll do a very short hypnosis. We kind of do that play therapy, sometimes drawing, and then we do a short hypnosis. Kids don't need a long hypnosis. They don't hypnotize the same way parents do, or adults do, I should say. And but it works very well with them and very fast, and they're very accepting. They like that. So my ideas today on that kid of mine Thursday. If that kid of yours, you'll love them, but they're showing a lot of fear, anxiety, maybe even panic attacks. Chase down the problem the best you can at home, and then decide on a way to go. If you're ready for hypnotherapy, I'm here for you. And there's also many recordings that you can get for children to help with fear and anxiety. And I will post some of those in a connecting blog or down below in the comments, so that you can access those if you choose to buy those. They're usually pretty inexpensive, and kids love to listen to a story, so that'll work. All right, thanks for joining me here today. Please subscribe. You can subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube. Please follow me if you're on Facebook. I'd love it if you come over to my blog and subscribe. I'm writing about children in hypnotherapy a couple of times a month. So follow me if you want more information. I also have some freebies on there and things I share that you can have access to. All right. Have a great Thursday. And I'll see you tomorrow for Fear and Phobia Friday. I have a guest. All right. From me to you, friends. Bye-bye.